when you guys moved here and saw all the traction you had from the younger ages, like what's that like to see all them walk through the door?
Yeah, I think just to kind of call out a fun experience, our very first day we were open, we had kids pull up on their scooters and their bikes. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what we wanted, right? It just started the whole thing off. And I think just looking at the kids, we kind of just, like I said, I collected as a kid, and it just reminds me of like looking for your favorite player, right? Or your favorite team. And the kids bring so much joy when they come in here.
What's going on? This is Overtime Cards, and this is our first podcast episode. I'm Tate, and I'm here with the owners of Overtime Cards, Chris and Michelle. There you go, Chris.
Hey, Tate, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
This is surreal, like, to actually have a podcast that talks about sports and cards. Like, I haven't really heard of one, like, has a sports cards in the actual shop, which is the background. It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited. We couldn't be more excited for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you guys for giving me and Dawson the opportunity to do this. It's awesome. So, describe how this process started. So, when you guys bought this and became part owners, like, how was that process going? Like, the previous owner and like the negotiation part of that. How did you guys get to become the owners of this shop?
All right, well, Overtime Cards is the longest running shop in the state of Utah. It's been around for 28 years now. Heidi Stores was the original owner and the founder of it. She retired 2.5 years ago. It's kind of a surreal. We are customers of Heidi's from when she was at Midvale, both locations, to the Murray location. And I remember there was conversations of her, wanting to, possibly retire and move on. And I remember coming home and asking Michelle, saying, hey, got an opportunity here. And she was like, oh, cards? And I was like, yeah. And then she's all, you know what? That's something that, I know that's a passion of your, like mine and the boys, our boys'. And we just thought it would be something great. And it just turned out to be perfect timing in both of our lives and with our kids getting older and going into high school. And it just became, and I was able to still continue to do coaching on the side still. And Michelle still keep flourishing in her career, and we approached Heidi and it worked itself out, and we stayed at Murray's location for about 1.5 years about, right? And then at that point we built our location here in Sandy, and everything to what you guys see and hear is what Michelle and I envisioned, along with our awesome employees and staff that we have.
I'd almost say it grew more than what we envisioned. I think in general, like ultimately we wanted to create or continue and grow like the community. It created a place where it was even more cohesive. Past location didn't really give us an opportunity to hang out, right? Like we can in the shop here. And so when we opened the doors here in Sandy, that not only became real, it became like way bigger than what we ever imagined. I mean, where we're sitting today, and as you guys know, it's always busy, right? Like people are sitting here all the time, and even if they didn't just come in to buy something, they came in to hang out and talk cards and talk sports, and yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah, I think this environment, just like with all the TVs and stuff, sports are constantly going, and like everybody knows a good amount of each sport. I would say obviously more than the others because everyone likes different sports. But like before you guys started this, like when you approached her, like how much of cards did you know in like sports? Because I know you know a fair amount, but for Michelle, like what was your reaction to him telling you that?
Yeah, well, sports have always been part of my life, so that's not like anything. So there was nothing there. As far as card collecting, I collected cards when I was a kid, but that's kind of where it stopped. And then Chris has always collected cards. I saw a lot of the really cool things he had. We always had an opportunity as well if it was here locally, or if we went to like an MLB game to get stuff signed, which was always really fun, especially with the kids. And then like the baseball teams that we usually traveled with. So that was always really fun experience. But to live it now every day is a blast. I mean, it's definitely not like going to work, right? I just living a dream.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very much so.
I think it's super cool that like you guys turned your passion and like gave it to other people. Like you guys just flipped cards, especially for me, and I think for Tate as well. Like you guys made it way more fun than it. Like when I was doing it by myself, it just wasn't as fun. And then I come here and I can just talk to multiple people about every sport that I'm into. So
That's been our goal, is like, as Michelle said, just grow in the community and just make it a place of just a positive experience. And everyone's going to remember when they come into Overtime Cards, from just the numerous wax to the numerous singles to the staff to just like, making someone's day better and brighter. And that's what our goal always has been. And we will continue to keep striving for that.
Yeah, sure. That's kind of the thing that I noticed first when you came into the shop, even when previous owners with her, but culture that you guys created here, like it just was so inviting and just so like you could ask any question you wanted. You have obviously all the product that you would want here, and to be able to come move closer to Sandy, like all the kids come, like there's so many kids here. It's awesome to see them like picking out the dollar sections or saving up all their money to buy a box or whatever it may be. But like when you see kids like come in here because you moved to Sandy from Murray, and it was kind of like a hidden location, like right by the train tracks, like little hidden. But when you guys moved here and saw all the traction you had from little like the younger ages, like what's that like to see all them walk through the door?
Yeah, I think just to kind of call out a fun experience, our very first day we were open, we had kids pull up on their scooters and their bikes. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what we wanted, right? It just started the whole thing off. And I think just looking at the kids, we kind of just, like I said, I collected as a kid, and it just reminds me of like looking for your favorite player, right? Or your favorite team. And the kids bring so much joy when they come in here. And the collecting aspect of it has really become very expensive and hard for kids to participate in. And so we want to make sure that we still have stuff available so that they love and they get to really enjoy what we had when we were a kid.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen the card shops around Utah, and this one to just be in the valley, that tracks a lot too, with people being able to commute. Like, what's the farthest guest or customer that you've had?
Well,
Shop.
it's been kind of, with the hockey club here, they're getting a lot of out of towners. It's here with the Jazz too. Don't get me wrong, but we do see a lot of hockey club opponents. They travel quite well. So just for instance, we had Seattle just for yesterday for the Kraken. But from New York, you've had Islanders and the Rangers. They've all traveled out. For Florida, for the Panthers, they've all traveled out for this ones, and that we've had in store for sure. But a lot of different out of staters. It's cool just for them to, kind of do a little research on us, and then they come back and they're just like, man, the shop, it just does bring itself to the customer too. And then when they get here, they want to come back. And that's where, from just the lighting to the atmosphere to the scenery, whatever's in here, that's what brings them back for sure.
Okay, so the thing that I really enjoy is like seeing guests here and seeing so many people be able to interact with actual athletes, or whether it's like radio personalities, which obviously I love. But like when you have guests here and like you're planning to have them there, like what's that process like, and how fun is that to be able to host a guy like Cam Rising or Gunther from the hockey club? Like how cool is that?
It's been really fun. And the first couple of athletes that we had here, and even the DJs that we had here, we had initially reached out to them. Now we're constantly getting calls asking if they could come to the shop, if we could set up an event for them, if they can participate or be part of it. And so we've got lots on the docket coming up, which is really exciting, and we're looking forward to being able to announce those really soon. But what's been really fun is just the different personalities that they bring and some of the fun things that come with it. So like each of them that have been here, we have started kind of calling out like the most unique item that's been signed.
Yeah.
And when Gunther was here, right before he was here, he made like, I can't remember on what social media platform, but he put something out about how he loves shopping at Costco.
And then just with Mikhail Sergachev, he raises chickens. And all of a sudden, we start seeing people bringing a bunch of eggs to get signed. And I'm just asking him, I'm like, what's this? And he just starts laughing. And he just goes, yeah, I raise chickens and I love chickens. And so that chicken eggs. So he was signing literally eggs for them, and which was so cool. And then, but to piggyback up on that, what Michelle's talked about, the experience and just athletes, is that, as Michelle said earlier, we would take our kids, on the bottom and teams that we've all played with, and we get autographs from MLB players, NBA players and stuff. And seeing what all their guys is, from adults to grandpa and grandmas to men and women and kids, get to see their athletes and their heroes. That's the biggest thing. And that's where that's why we do it, is that we appreciate everyone supporting that, but they're getting a chance to meet them. Not everyone gets a chance. And so we're like, let's provide that. And that's been by far the best. And then the athletes have been so stand-up, amazing to all their fans.
Yeah, it's just cool. Yeah. So as far as like the podcast goes, what do you guys envision as this goes on? Like, what do you guys want to come up the podcast?
Yeah, I think, talking or being able to kind of cover some of the unique things that happen in the store. I know you guys have been part of some of that when people have opened really big cards, and how exciting that can be, or even just some of the community events that we have as well. So Last Saturday, we had National Hockey Card Day. We have RIP nights. We have trade nights once a month. So really being able to kind of talk through and see and share what's happening here in the shop.
Anything from you, Chris?
No, just as Michelle was saying, just all the events we had going on from, our trade nights, as we said, for the hockey, well, let's just go back to last Saturday, right? On National Hockey Card Day, we had 450 customers in here. And before we opened, we opened up at 10 and there was a line of 20 some people. And then I literally sat at the front door for like the first 15 minutes. So it was 20 when I think it was 22 when we opened it. But as the time kept going, it was just more and more and more. And the excitement, and that's what's grown so much from Murray to here, is that there's a great customer base, but from here, there's been tenfold. And to be able to get the hockey club's excitement, but able just to get anyone, there's numerous people are here for Pokemon, here for football, for basketball. And they're like, oh, you guys are giving out free packs. This is cool. And then there's young kids and, they're like, oh, free packs and free cards. And so that was great. And then even just out-of-staters that were still here for that too. It was like, oh, we didn't know you guys were doing these free packs. And there's all different things that they do. And we just want to continue to keep doing that.
For those of you that don't know, what we're sitting at right now is called the RIP Desk. And that I don't know if they invented it, but like it's a sweet thing to be able to like actually have an area to open your cards in the shop.
Tons of amazing pulls.
Yeah. So I've ripped like my most recent big pull is like a Orange Ice Bonix, and at the time I sold it for like $200. And I'm a huge football collector, so I love collecting football. But at the RIP Desk, what's the biggest pull you guys have seen?
So a 10-year-old for his birthday was going there and doing some Cosmic Chrome, and so NBA in 23-24, and sure enough, pulled the 101 gold vinyl of Wemby. So Victor Wembanyama. And, at time 15 or, north of 15,000, it was one of the greatest pulls we've had. And then sure enough, the next day, we had 6 101 cards pulled out of that same share. It was just one of those days that we're never, ever going to forget. And so, as I said, it's always a special time at the RIP Desk. But as we like to say, that was there. And then, sure enough, another guy that got the Jaden Daniels, remember the Color Blast of Yagili, sitting in that chair too. Wow. And so that chair, yeah. So all these chairs are special. There's 8 chairs around the RIP Desk. But I don't know.
Maybe sometimes
sometimes right there, that chair. But no, again, there's so many different amazing cards that has been hit, and all the smiles and joy and celebration is pretty cool. Yeah. And a lot of great stories too from everyone just sitting talking cards. Speaking of, today there was a guy from California that was in town, and I think he was here for almost 3 hours just sitting here ripping packs and talking to one of our OGs, Barry, sitting there. So that was cool. And yeah, there's a lot of amazing times.
Yeah, and I would also say sports definitely the big thing here in the shop. TCG as well, right? Like Pokemon. We've got other gaming as well, and that's been very popular as well here in the shop. So.
Oh yeah, if you experienced it firsthand with doing the whatnot, people love. It's like I don't remember, like it was like mob cards that Will West the other time. It's like I never heard of these, but I'm watching Larry open them. Like for those of you that aren't into cards, like there's a card for you. Whatever audience you're a part of, your sports, if it's not sports, there's literally Disney cards over here. It's like
or GPK.
Yeah, Orange Pack Garbage Fill. Like
there has this nice famous saying about for the vehicles and the cards, you can say,
yeah, so for a car, there's a butt for every seat. There's a card for every hand. Keith, Dawson, I have a question for you. So tell me how the two of you started. Like, when did you start collecting, and what is it that you like about collecting?
So for me, I've been collecting ever since I was little. Like you can go back in time and there's pictures of me like with cards in my hand. Like there's a picture of me and him where I had my arm wrapped around even my arm. There's cards in my hand and it's wrapped around. So I used to just carry them around with me everywhere.
Till I see that picture.
And why? Like, what did you like about it?
So I was a big fan of like my teams. Like I was a big team. So I would just go and I would try to collect my whole team. And then there was obviously certain players I loved. So that was just that. Like I had no recollection of like who was good, who was bad. I just liked my team. That was what I went with, was my team. It was good.
Yeah, that was, kind of the same for me. Like he kind of got me into it. Like I knew that he was way more into it than I was, but like just going to the dollar stores with our grandma, like remember when they sold those dollar packs? They don't sell them anymore, but that was like, we would look forward to that. Like we'd go to our grandma's sleepover, and that's what kind of got me into it, because me and him had a connection there to where like
it was like a big old party.
And we just sit there and whipped packs. Like we would go, like I'd mow lawns to open cards sometimes, and with how much we loved sports too and how much we played and to be able to collect like our players, like that was cool. And then you learn how much value they have, and you sell them or you trade them to your friends at the lunch table in elementary school. It's kind of an excuse to hang out with people, but at the same time, you loved what's like seeing what card you got. So that's really what drew me into it, is just kind of hanging out with everybody and having something in common.
Yes.
Yeah. And what you both described exactly what, as Chris and I made the decision to move forward with buying overtime cards and really growing it, that's exactly what we wanted to create. So the cards we love, but it's the experience and the memories and that it creates with, family, friends, new people that you meet.
I'll never forget the first time I walked in the Murray location. I looked up cards shops on Safari, and I clicked on it and I was like, okay, I'll go. And I actually went with him. My first time with Denver was with him. I was like, I'm gonna like this place, I think.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll have many more episodes to come. And thank you again for allowing us to be able to do this. And I'm super excited for you guys to see what happens in the shop and be able to access it on your phone, but come by and talk to us and pull some heat out of these and buy some heat. Sure you are. If you don't want to gamble, there's plenty of cases here. There's plenty of options for you. But thank you guys for having this on.
Thank you.